Recording in progress.
Thank you, Nancy. Our invocation is called Gathered in Imperfect Faith by Sunshine Jeremiah Wolf. This is a congregation that gathers in faith, not faith in one religion or one God or one way. We gather in faith, the power of diversity, the power of love, and the hope of a world transformed by our care. We gather in faith in ourselves and those around us, not a faith that requires perfection or rightness in one another, rather a faith that in our shared imperfection we may learn to stumble and fall together. Faith that we will help one another to rise and to try again and again. We are Unitarian Universalists. Our reading is called The Queens and Kings of Imperfections, and it's by the famous author Anonymous. We are queens and kings. It might not seem like we are queens and kings, but look carefully and see, gloriously crowned, beautifully inept, marvelously imperfect, queens and kings of imperfection. We leave perfection to the few who seek what cannot be attained, who desire what cannot be given, who yearn for what cannot be achieved. And we accept our crowns of imperfection. We offer this crown to you, for it is the crown of truth and joy and laughter and wonder and freedom from the tyranny of trying to be what can never be. I offer this prayer for our time of prayer and meditation, contemplation, by Alex Klingenberg. Spirit of life, earth and sky and sea, place of deep longing in our hearts, find your way from silence to voice. Give us strength and courage to speak truth through life, for we are creatures of the universe, small but infinite, a momentary body in the sea of life, and also the sea itself. We are gathered bits of energy, and those who gather, we are creation and creator. Let us not hold too tightly to one form and lose the other. We are not form, but process, ever changing and ever renewing. Help us see that we are neither the beginning nor the end, but something perfectly natural and imperfectly divine. Do you usually take a moment of silence? No? Yes? Yes? All right, so let's take a few moments of silence. Please join together for our next hymn, number 128, For All That Is Our Life.
For all that is our life, we is glad. For needs which others serve, for services we give, for work and its rewards, for hours of rest and love, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life. For sorrow we must bear, for failures, pain, and loss, for each new thing we learn, for fearful hours that pass, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life. For all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad.
Alexander Fleming was a total slob. He was a Scottish scientist working in London, and his lab was filthy. One September in 1928, he decided to take a vacation, and as usual, no cleaning was done in his lab before he left. When he got back, there was dust and mold and bacteria everywhere. Petri dishes had been left out, and strange growths had taken up residence within them. There was also mold in those dishes, except the new bacteria had grown. Bacteria around it. He discovered that the mold was producing an antibiotic that he later named penicillin. He made an important discovery in the midst of chaos in a lab that was less than perfect. The problem with Fleming's discovery, however, was that he could not produce enough penicillin from the samples he had. However, he did publish a paper that led others to begin the hunt for a mold that would produce a greater yield. It took another scientist, Mary Hunt from Peoria, to find the right strain. She had an eye for tiny organisms and found a rotting cantaloupe at a local market. She discovered a strain of mold on it that could produce large amounts of penicillin, and thus she helped save thousands of lives just as World War II was getting underway because she looked for rotting fruit. Coincidentally, Alexander Fleming went on to be awarded a Nobel Prize, while Mary Hunt was forgotten. When I was in high school, I played the trumpet in the school band, and I thought I was pretty good. I sat in the first chair of the trumpet section and was assigned to play many of the solos in our concerts. I had taken numerous lessons and practiced regularly at home. My illusion of perfection, however, was shattered when I auditioned for the college music program I wanted to attend, and they told me they could not accept it. It turned out that there was a significant number of senior high school trumpet players who were better than I was. They told me to pick another career path. My parents advised me to choose another major, preferably one that would make money. My guidance counselor also just suggested that I pick another major, preferably one that was practical. I didn't listen to any of them. Instead, I went on to that college and practiced more than I had ever in my life so that I could re-audition the following year and gain acceptance into the music program, which I did. My failure forced me to become even more than I thought I could have been before. And I call this an exquisite imperfection. The universe is full of exquisite imperfection. When people visit Italy, for example, many put a visit to the Leaning Tower of Pisa on their bucket list. It's a building of no real importance except that it's seen at an angle rather than being perfectly symmetrical. When compact discs first came out, they were hailed as a great achievement for recorded music, but some grew intolerant of the perfectly clean audio sound and returned to the imperfection of scratches and glitches on music albums. They described these recordings as more warm. And when I take my daughter to buy clothes, of all the clothes on the rack, she invariably chooses the pair that is intentionally worn down and full of rips and holes. Nature itself is full of exquisite imperfection. The lotus flower pushes itself up through thick mud and clouded waters to sit proudly on the surface of the water. Forests, fields of wildflowers, floating clouds, and lofty mountain ranges are all combinations of imperfectly developed parts that come together to create forms of strength and beauty. Life itself is packed with necessary imperfection. The very amino acids that are the building blocks of all living forms are said to be asymmetric. And this same asymmetry applies to the entire universe and everything we know and beyond. Everything in the cosmos is unbalanced. And it is for this very reason that galactic formation and the process of evolution behind all life is possible. Everything is growing in exquisite imperfection. Perhaps the best examples of exquisite imperfection are displayed through the arts. I have conducted several different kinds of musical ensembles, but my favorite by far is the choral ensemble. A good choir, orchestra, or a music group can create the most beautiful of sounds. Vocal choirs hidden in the recesses of ancient cathedrals make it sound as if their parishioners are surrounded by the music of angels. All of these musical groups create beautiful sounds because they heighten human imperfection. In most choral music, the scores typically only 4 lines of music. Yet there are often many more than 4 people singing. The beauty of the music comes from having several people sing the same line. But because they are imperfect humans, no one sings it exactly alike. If done well, these slight imperfections meld together into a delightfully harmonious sound. The same is true for the string section of the orchestra or for any of the multiple instruments in a band. Dancing has a similar effect. We marvel at the wonder of a kick line or the coordinated dancing in a show tune, not because everyone looks exactly the same, or does everything in exactly the same way, but because they do everything almost the same. In visual art, the standard of quality was once determined by how realistically a painter could create a scene or image, but that changed with the invention of the camera. Art no longer needed to capture portraits of royalty or frame scenes from nature. Art became more abstract and less concerned with perfection than with expression. Poets work long and hard to find the perfect words, but they never quite succeed. If they did, there would no longer be need for anyone to write poetry. In some forms of craft, there is a conscious effort to include a minor flaw in every work to remind people that perfection is not possible. Navajo rug artists, for example, are known for this very practice. By doing this, they make the imperfect part of the beautiful. And Richard, here's your cue. Perhaps the most glorious example of raising perfection to its own level of aesthetic is done through the Japanese art of Kintsugi. Kintsugi is the practice of fixing broken pottery using a special tree sap mixed with shiny metals such as silver or gold. The point of the art is not to hide the cracks, but to highlight them. The repair work becomes an integral part of the artwork of the restored surroundings. In effect, the brokenness is the art. The repairs are not hidden, but are highlighted and integrated into the whole work. The flaws are displayed with pride and complete the artistic statement that says, I was cracked and broken, but now I am whole. I am strong, and I am more beautiful than before. The art of Kintsugi is based on the Zen Buddhist concept of wabi-sabi, and I love that word, wabi-sabi. The principle of wabi-sabi is to find beauty in imperfection, impermanence, and incompleteness. In other words, it asks us to give up the idea of seeking perfection in all we do, because perfection is unattainable. Instead, we should see the inherent beauty in the flawed, the broken, the damaged, and the blemished. It encourages us to embrace the faults and the cracks, to slow down and observe things as they really are, and to focus on the process rather than the product. The simple truth is, there is no perfection in anything. To be purely perfect means to be static, unattainable, unalterable. Perfection shows no growth, no adaptation, and no renewal. All things everywhere are in a process of growth, change, and revitalization, and by definition can never be perfect on their own. I am reminded of this fact in my own sermons. No matter how much I write, no matter how many times I offer these words to others, and no matter how many times I pour out my heart in these sentences, I never seem to say exactly what I want to say. I never quite express what I think needs to be conveyed. So I keep writing and speaking, but it's never complete. There's always more to say. There's always a better way to say. And there's always something else that needs to be explored. There's always another angle from which to view the same thing. So I have given up trying to be perfect, but I strive to continue to be hopelessly yet exquisitely imperfect. We are all broken. We all have fault lines, cracks, and even missing pieces. We all experience pain, soreness, and aching. We all have holes and gaps and fissures. We are all beautifully flawed. And instead of trying to hide these things, let the broken pieces shine forth. Display them in bright colors and precious metals. Most of all, embrace your uniquely exquisite imperfections. In the name of that which you hold in your heart to be most sacred, may it be so.
This is the normal time that we would have an offering. Think of it as check writing time while Nancy plays the offertory.
This is our time to share joys and concerns. If you have a brief personal joy and concern, please share it at this time.
I went to the back porch, and it was canceled. So that was sad. But last night, Steve and Susan Virgin and I went to an Elvis impersonator in Fall River. And we had a wonderful time. And I'm thinking Susan is not here. We had a few drinks, and I drove her home. So she might still be sleeping. But it was a nice time. So I'm excited and happy.
Well, I just wanted to briefly share, Ken, I was the first trumpet in my high school orchestra. I was also the only trumpet in my high school orchestra. So that's how I rose to the top. Definitely imperfect, but I had a lot of fun.
I'll talk for a second here. Yesterday afternoon, the volunteers of Off the Common Coffee House at First Parish in Bridgewater met and voted to shut down after being well, in semi-continual form since 1968. But we've kind of come to the conclusion that there aren't many of us left, and we're tired, and we've got one more concert coming up in March, and then we're going to shut it down. And I voted for it too. I thought it was time. So certainly a long run for that group, but there you go.
Anyone else? Richard? Unmute yourself.
Thank you. I thought your sermon was wonderful, and I am so sorry for this damned echo that we have been unable to find the cause of. But you spoke slowly enough that we got everything anyway.
That's because I had to listen to myself. Anyone else? Well, I want to say thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think we should do the next hymn in the voice of Elvis. And our next hymn is number 108, My Life Flows On, in Endless Song.
My life flows on in endless song, above earth's lamentation. I hear the rill of far off wind that hails a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What though the tempest round me roars? I know the truth, it liveth. What though the darkness round me close? Songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging, since love prevails in heaven and earth. How can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble as they hear the bells of freedom ringing, when friends rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? To prison cell and dungeon vile, our thoughts to them are winging. When friends by shame are undefiled, how can I keep from singing?
Our closing words are by Jane Malden. Now may the love of truth guide you. May the warmth of love hold you. And may the spirit of peace bless you this day and in all days to come. With these words, we extinguish the chalice. Our service ended, but our service continues. Be blessed. Bless others. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard, for arranging that for us. And thank you, Ken.
And I may add that Walt is improving drastically. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't see you tomorrow. I won't be at the Martin Luther King event, but I will see you next time. Bye.
Just want to say hi, Dale. Good to see you.
This
I don't know if
worked
you
out
heard
very
me.
well. It's nice to see everybody on Zoom.
Deo, have you been okay? Are you okay, Deo? We haven't seen you in a while. He can't hear. Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Okay, good. All right.
But it's nice to see you.
Right.
If anybody can provide any information about what causes this damned echo, I've never experienced it before.
My usual advice is to take a big hammer to it, but that might not work here.
I used to work summers at the Foxborough Company soldering little nurdles onto circuit boards as a summer job, and I even had a certificate of excellence in soldering, as it happens. But one of the guys that worked with us, motto about anything that didn't work was, get a bigger hammer.
Well, I don't get an echo from Jim and Nancy, but everybody else.
Well, oddly enough, because we are so technologically impaired.
Well,
Anyway, well, I think we're going to sign off if we can figure out how to do that.
I'll see you later.
Thank you,
Okay.
Ken, so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for having me. Enjoy it.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.